Don't be so quick to increase the weight. Instead, focus on mastering the weight. Truth is, the only reason why you want to jump onto that next milestone is due to ego. Because you already know that in hypertrophy context, if intensity of effort is present, you're within the 5 to 30 rep range, then next week, if you were to get a +1, then mass would still be equated. So if you're benching 225, you finally got that 3x10, why are you then going to jump to 245, 250, and hit lower repetitions? I mean, you could. Nothing's wrong with that. And from a strength perspective, might be slightly more advantageous. And we can even argue that fatigue will be lower. But you're still in that moderate zone. And realistically, if you were to try to get 11 reps on your following session, there'd be zero difference whatsoever in your pectoral, shoulder, and tricep improvements. None. And if you do that for months, eventually getting to 15 reps on your first set, maybe 12 on your second, 8 on your third, that still would equalize the gains. So why do you arbitrarily increase load when it's not required? There's one reason and one reason only. Ego. I get it. I'm a former ego lifter myself. But you need to get your priorities straight. Ask, what do you really want? And I'll just say this. Throughout my entire 7 months of cutting, I exclusively lifted 225. In this case, it was -1s on the way down. So if it's not too good for me, why do I see early intermediates rushing progression? Trying to be like novices again. Thinking it's somehow going to accelerate the gains. Like I said, the hypertrophy rep range is a lot broader than we once thought. And although it gets inefficient after a certain point, in my opinion, around 20, leading up to that point, you have a lot of leeway. So if you go to a gym that has limited dumbbells, maybe they only go up to 100 pounds, or you've maxed out certain machines, or the sleeves aren't that long, and you think, this is a curse. Oh, I wish I could go to some hardcore gym that's twice as expensive and really pile on those loads. You know what? I'm going to buy this accessory. This way I can finally overload. Or better yet, I'm going to bring some straps to the gym and hang some chains, dumbbells, or bands off this particular object to make it even heavier. Ask yourself, is that really necessary? Because 9 out of 10 times, in my observations, it's not. And that's not me trying to steer you away from heavy lifting or strength training. Obviously, you're going to continue seeing me pushing the limits of performance. But all I'm trying to point out, and this is going to be the theme of this video, is that many times, one weight can be enough. And the best example I can possibly give you in the natural scene are Bronze Era lifters and calisthenics athletes. What do these two groups have in common? They're both stuck to using very limited weight selection. In the case of the Bronze Era athlete, are you aware that the adjustable barbell was not in existence? Yet some of the greatest physiques that people still have trouble building today were acquired through using globe bars and globe dumbbells. One piece that was welded together. And whatever that weight was, you just had to roll with it. And then for the calisthenics athlete, obviously, your weight is constant throughout the session unless you're wearing a weighted vest. And even if you're bulking over time, it doesn't change the fact that on a workout to workout basis, you need to adjust the angles to reduce or increase difficulty. Same with the old school lifters. And so what can we learn from this? Quite simply, limitation breeds creativity. And this is what a lot of you guys are missing. Your first line defense is, I'm going to increase weight by 15% or so. When in reality, it should be, how can I make this even harder? How can I, fill in the blanks, come on, get more or less weight? Or, if the weight is too light, how can I make it exceptionally difficult? Really reminds me of that video I made during global events, how to get big with 135. Was that not creative? And did people not get results? Funny, because the old school grades were already doing this way before, because they didn't have a choice. And what's crazy is that both of these athletes use the same training principles to maximize that one weight. What are they? I'm gonna talk about that right now. The first, as I described previously, is upping the reps. If we know the range can be extended up to 30, then that gives you a lot of leeway. Now for calisthenics, you will clock that out relatively soon. So this is why there's so many more variations. But with lifting, imagine you've been born in 1900s and you have a 90-pound globe bar. Not that heavy. A lot of novices can do that in the 5 to 10 rep range. But what would these guys do? Go above 20. Just pump it out. Easy fix. And what if that was exceeded? The next step is to change your tempo. Although there is nothing magical about tempo, it does accomplish one special thing. This increases your intensity bracket. Sure, the set takes longer, but once those effective reps kick in towards the end, you'll find that the total number is at least 5 or so reps less. But maybe that's what you needed to still milk out that particular weight. And then there's the obvious, affecting range of motion. Deficits are obviously going to be preferred. So if you can maximize the stretching component, that in itself can take you far for many more months. That coupled with modifying the angles, and you're good. So why does it always have to be a flat bench press with 225? Or a flat push-up, even if it's deficit or diamond? Why not try a decline deficit push-up? Why not a deficit handstand push-up? It's still a push. Like just transitioning from being more horizontal to vertical. Yes, the muscular bias is different, but maybe that's what you need. And of course, you're using the same weight. So that can be as simple as starting your workout with a bench press, maybe getting reps of 12, 15, 2 plates. And your second exercise is an incline barbell bench, but you stick to that 2 plates. But you're going to be on the lower end, minimum of 5 reps. You're good. If you're in the zone, man, you don't have to change jack. You don't have to do 275 on your flat, then 225 on your incline. No, you can keep it the same for both. And maybe this is why I never had issues with home training, because I knew that variations were important. I knew that you could manipulate your leverages to get more out of it. And I feel like if guys just savor these exercises for longer, not only would their coordination greatly improve, you would actually become quite skilled and develop some favorites. You wouldn't want to swap this out. It would also make your training that much more fun. It gives you things to look forward to. Have goals that is not just, all right, I'm going to increase to the next classification, advanced to elite. Like, bro, if you're doing dumbbell benching with the hundreds, which is basically what I'm stuck to, around 105 pounds with my Pipeni dumbbells, unless I buy more 10-pound plates. I mean, yeah, I am a very strong bencher. That's not a lot of weight for me. But if I'm honest, I can get everything I need out of that weight. For example, if the 30-degree incline is too easy, I'm getting reps of 15 with the hundreds, then I'll do a 45-degree. If I eventually master that, I'll do a 60. And if it's still too easy, which usually it won't be, you just do a seated dumbbell press. And the best I've ever done, this is when I was freaking bear mode, was 100 for 5 reps. So there's all kinds of potential with that vertical press. If it means that I only have access to one variation, fine. I'll use the other angles with a barbell or a camera bar, that which I have access to and can properly induce progressive overload. But if there's something that can still be milked, that's the story. That's what I'm saying. Take advantage. And I can promise that for every single one of you watching this video right now, there is a weight that you dismiss early on that you can reintroduce back into your program. And if basic calisthenics can get the job done, then why can you not apply this to lifting? Like, no joke, there are many times where I will not lift weights. I'm basically a calisthenics lifting hybrid athlete. I will go to the park. I was planned on doing dumbbell rows, barbell rows, all that stuff. Yet it's nice outside. I will go there and do wide grip pull-ups, chest to bar, pausing, L-sit pull-ups, pelican curls, gymnastic rings. I will do all this shit and record it for you guys. These are not fake workouts. This is what I actually do, including on my cut, including on my bulk. I do this year round as a replacement, and it works. And then you got dudes with decent weights, and they're like, oh, I can't get big anymore. What the fuck are you talking about? If a guy can get big weighing 165 to 180 with calisthenics, if gymnasts can do it while weighing even less than that, then imagine you. Imagine an average height male who is bear mode, who is heavier, using body weight training. What are you smoking? Of course, you can get a bodybuilder level physique when done right. When you unlock your creativity, think, experiment, do stuff that's hard. And when you're lifting, like, try every possible angle. Make yourself weak. Try to squeeze everything out of that exercise. Leave no stones unturned. And I promise you'll be in a much better situation. Like, I can give you example after example. My chest crusher, I've been doing 3 springs for almost a year now. But guess what? It started with the underhand grip. Couldn't even do 5 reps. Worked up to 15. Then I switched to the overhand, getting 5 reps of stuff again. And I slowly but surely got stronger. Now I'm at 15. I did not change the springs. There was no point. I kept it the same. And after all this time, I'm finally reaping the rewards. And now, like very soon, I can up the tension. Same with my bench. I'm doing 315 basically every workout now. I'm in the effective range for hypertrophy. It's going to be a minimum of 5. So why am I going to go even heavier when there's no point? I'm just going to keep rolling with this, man. And eventually, once it becomes not feasible from a stimulus fatigue standpoint, I'll kick my feet out, get back to Larson pressing. I won't have to do 350 plus like I used to do back in the day. Same for squats. I can do 4 or 5 for reps. But putting that much weight on my back is absolutely not necessary. That's a fact. If I just did front squats or reverse SSB squats, I didn't dive bomb and I held the weight in the bottom, paw style, not to get specificity or raise my strength out of the hole, but just to make the quads a true limiting factor. No joke. That's minus 100 pounds off my squat. When I say this, there isn't even a slight exaggeration, meaning I can get elite legs, 27 inches, doing 3 plates on a back squat variation. So if that's me, and you see what my absolute strength is at, what can you do with 225? A whole bunch. Especially if you go Tom Platz mode with the higher reps. Not for the faint of heart. And going back to dumbbells, you know how I always used to talk about their size being a limiting factor? That they're bulkier the heavier they become? Well, through me knowing this for such a long time and being frustrated, and then having no choice but to use 100-pound dumbbells, I rediscovered the barrel presses, where you have the neutral grip, you're coming out a bit more, getting a maximum stretch. This would have never been possible had it not been for my critiques and being too strong for my own darn good. So as a result of being limited, it unlocked an exercise that is arguably even better for hypertrophy. And now, many in our community are doing the same. So that's why that one weight that you dismissed early on could have been what you actually needed had you stuck to it. Limitations can be broken. You just need to experiment for long enough. And the answers will come to you. Let me say, you already know what you have to do. That's why I didn't give too many examples today. If you understand the theme, you know what's next. Try to milk those exercises for longer. Don't be so quick to always shoot for the easy way. I'm just gonna go heavier, brah. Take a little bit of wisdom from bronze era lifters and calisthenics athletes, and you'll go very far for it. So that said, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of it. I'm very curious what you have to say regarding overloading and underloading and bringing the two values closer together. Let me know what's up in the comment section. And I'll talk to you all next time.